her great effort in this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. I recognise the Honourable Member Stephen Browning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So just a short call on the Conservation Natural Heritage Protection Bill in the name of Jackie Dean. I think it's a fantastic bill to see this increase in penalties around the stealing and the smuggling of native wildlife and plants. It's got particular meaning for me because, unlike Mr. Goldsmith just there, I am familiar with the jewelled gecko and remember watching them, but not in my underpants. I was actually seeing them in their natural habitat, and at that point in Nelson Lakes. We're not sure that they even exist in any numbers in the Nelson Lakes now because the numbers have gone back so much, and it's absolutely critical that we find measures to conserve them. I had a strong interest in lizards actually when I was a kid, and still they would probably be my favourite animal. I remember going out to the Warrell Bar out from Blenheim and the coastline and other areas looking for lizards, looking for caterpillar spiders and the likes, and just am so aware of the drop in numbers when I go to show and turn my children or partner what is actually out there. Out there now you could not find a caterpillar spider. You may still find some lizards, but they are not as prolific as they once were. It's absolutely critical that we use measures such as this bill and the use of DOC to make sure that we preserve our natural heritage. I also lived in the outer Marlborough Sounds and looked out at Stevens Island, which is probably the greatest population of tuatara in the world, and the lighthouse would wink at our place at 300 metres up the sides of our Riri, Mount Stokes, and where we also had Kakariki, another target of those smugglers up there. A fantastic, beautiful little parrot that not enough New Zealanders get to see. But what is also very concerning, and other members of the House have mentioned it tonight, is the fact that before we had Nick Smith suggesting that using the economic woes as an excuse, in my words, to whack DOC around the ear. The real economic value of not losing species is not being valued here. It's not being valued by the government as it depletes DOC's resources more and more year after year. What does it look like when we lose Maui dolphin? What does it look like when we have less and less of our natural fauna, and the people internationally that are interested in the different conventions are measuring them and seeing more and more becoming into different threatened and vulnerable categories? That's not good for our brand. It's not good for our selling of anything that comes out of New Zealand. It's not good for our tourism. So the real value in DOC is much higher than this government seems to be making. We need a fresh and new green vision that actually values our natural heritage for its intrinsic values, but also its economic value. I remember in some of my previous activity, the NGOs meetings, every quarter or thereabouts, we'd have a meeting at DOC in Manor Street. Different NGOs and interest groups would meet with DOC. And I can remember the staff there presenting the latest, thank you, Mr. Speaker, the latest change in management approach, this new commercial management approach. Man, they were stoic. They were fantastic people, but they were standing there presenting that as though it was the best thing since sliced bread, and some of them were going to lose their jobs. DOC staff are dedicated people wanting to make a difference and to manage our natural heritage. We need to really support them. With the jobs gone, the drop in core work and funding, the government's expecting the community to pick up the slack. The community was already working to pretty much capacity as it was, so it only means we're going to have further losses to our natural heritage. Area officers being totally done over effectively, and staff forced into decisions around their close friends and colleagues, basically having to choose which ones of their friends are going. I'm looking forward for when a government actually values stock in a better way and supports things like this bill, which is a good move, but supports stock to do its job. Thank you very much.
In reply, I call the honourable member Jackie